What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. Today I want to talk about, can you be pro-black and date outside of your race? If you're a black man, you got a white wife, can you be pro-black? And I'm responding to Oshay Duke Jackson did a response to Dr. Umar when he was on the Daily Wrap-Up Show, which I think the Daily Wrap-Up Show is one of the best produced shows out there in the, I guess, manosphere. You know, they're most responsible. I highly recommend that channel. And so I said, let me go ahead and tackle this, because I think about this often, because it's a question that comes up often. And it's a tough one, man. It's a tough one. But the way I see it, now I'm just going to say, you can't help who you love, right? You can't help who you love. You can't help, you just can't help who you love, right? So, it just happens, right? That's nature. It happens. We mix. Everybody does it, right? But due to the circumstances that we find ourselves in, can you actually be pro-black, pro-African, or whatever, you know, and your significant other is white or something else? I'm not going to say Spanish, because Spanish is not a race. White, Asian, you know, or something like that, right? I'm gonna say I will lean more towards not really. I can say you could be an advocate, but I think what happens when you think of somebody who's pro-black, right? Somebody who has black people best interests at heart, somebody who's invested in the growth and development of the African / the black people, you would think that the one person that they're supposed to be that's supposed to be the closest to you, the one thing that's supposed to be the most valuable to you, the one thing that's most precious to you, you would think that would coincide with your passion of being pro. You know, it would be a pro, right? Pro this, right? You would think that'll be a black person, right? The thing is, marriage is an institution. So if you marry a white person, right? If you marry a white person, you know, as a man, and you're supposed to be a builder, right? You build, you create. And then you're supposed to build and create to pass things off to your offspring, right? Pass things off to them, right? If you're pro-black, you will want to pass things off to black, right? Pass things off to your side, because you're pro. It's more than just a thought every now and then. It's supposed to be a way of life, right? So if you're the most precious, the most important person to you in your life, as a black man, as a white woman, you can't sit in front of the black audience and say you're, fight the power pro, because because after you're done talking your talk, after you're done doing whatever you're doing, you go home to that white woman, that European, and all your assets and all your hard work is given to her. So it's counterproductive, right? So your actions don't mix with what you're saying out your mouth, right? Like me, I got a biggity black wife, because I'm pro-black. You know what I'm saying? It makes sense. It goes together. I value blackness. I value it. Therefore, I seek it out, right? So pro-black people should value blackness and seek it out, right? They should be looking for. It should be the thing that attracts them to someone is their blackness. Part of it, not all of it, but part of it should be their blackness. It should draw you in like a magnet. But if a white woman is drawing you in like a magnet, what is that, right? Like me, I'm not attracted. I have there are beautiful white women out there, but I'm not nothing draws me in, you understand? It doesn't draw. When I see a beautiful black woman, though, it's like, yes. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you do have a lot of active black people who consider themselves pro-black. They take pro-black actions, but they go home to their white wife, right? They go home, they're loyal. Their loyalty lies with their white wife. So it's kind of it's a conundrum, guys. It's really truly a conundrum, because how do you look at a black person who put in work, right, for his people that he says is black people, for his people? How do you look at a black person that's put in work, right? Let's say you didn't even know that they were married, right? You see him put in work, you're like, oh yeah, he's fighting the power, he's doing this, he's created these opportunities, he did this politically, blah, 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 right? If you didn't know he was married, you'd be like, yeah, that's the most pro-black, yeah, da 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 da, right? But then he take you home for dinner, right? And then you find out his wife, Becky, you know, in the kitchen, you know, with the mayonnaise. And you like, it's conflicting, right? Kind of like Pan-Africanism and being a conservative Republican and loving Trump. It's conflicting, right? Don't make sense, right? I'm gonna keep saying that because it don't make no sense, right? No, everybody know it don't make no damn sense, right? Can't be Pan-European and Pan-African at the same time, right? That's kind of what it is. It's the same thing. You can't have a white wife, you can't like Trump and be pro-black because those two don't mix. All right, I just threw some political shit and shit ain't had nothing to do with politics. All right, I did do that. Call it out, but I don't care, right? Because it goes with it, right? So, like, forget Candace Owens, right? Candace Owens is a black woman who has a white husband. Clearly, she's pro-white, 100% pro-white. But would a white person say she's pro-white, pro-European? Would a white person look at Candace Owens and say, you know, she's black, and she's always on our side talking about them Negroes. Yeah, she's one of us. No, they will never accept Candace Owens in part of the club. Never. She's not a part of the club. She is a pet Negro. That's what she is. She is an accepted pet Negro in the second subsidiary class. She's the Labrador underneath the table. That's what she is. She's getting better scraps. All right, she just gets better scraps. That's all she gets, right? So we know on the European side, Pan-Europeanism, no matter how coonish you are, coons are never really truly allowed in the house unless they're serving, right? Unless they're doing something for master. That's the only time a coon is allowed in the house, right? They're not allowed to go sit on the couch. Coons wasn't sitting on the couch. No, they're sitting on the floor next to massa on the couch, right? So we know on their side, they don't accept it. So why should we accept it, right? No matter how pro they are, there are a lot of them that's pro. There's a lot of them that's pro. Well, they come to all the protests. There be more of them at the protest, like Umar said. More white people be at the damn Black Lives Matter protest than black people. I think with the statistic, 1 out of 4 was white, was something else, right? So they sometimes visit the what's the word I'm trying to say? Advocacy or whatever. They visit the trauma. They may support, right? They may have a limited level of support depending on how they're feeling at the moment. But we know they switch up. And we all know, some of you, and I think the only black people who've been around white people know, you can have a white person that could be your best friend. Y'all roll together, y'all work together, y'all do things, piss him off, or get him drunk, or he be on some other stuff. One or two things is gonna happen. You piss him off, all of a sudden you all sorts of niggas and you ain't this and that. It all comes out. No matter how pro-black they were. No matter how many Jay-Z songs they know. All right, no matter how many black women they dated or black men they dated. You piss them off when they get drunk. When they let down the mask, they show you who they are. And let me tell you, every single white person I've ever known, I know the whole lot, after I pissed them off, or after they got mad at me, they showed me who they were. And they all are the same. No matter how close you think you are to them. And there's been more than just a little bit of evidence that there's been people who were married, right? Black and white people who are married where the white person was racist, right? Happens all the time, right? you got marriages where the white person actually hates their children because their children mix. They weird, man. They do weird shit, right? We know that, right? So to truly be 100% pro-black, you got to be with somebody black. You got to show the world that you value black over everything, which is the most valuable jewel you got in your life should be your significant other. If the most valuable jewel you got is a jar of mayonnaise, you can't tell me you pro-black. That's just what it is. You can't. No matter how much you care for and support the black cause, you can't be 100% pro-black if you value that jar of mayonnaise over everything else. Man, that's all I got to say. Afro Think Tank, learn something, see something. I'm out.